the small intestine and its role in absorption. So, and we talked about the structures of the villus. And let me remind you that the small intestine is a structure well adapted to the process of absorption. What do I mean by absorption? Absorption, it is the passage of the nutrient from the small intestine to all the body cells through the blood. Now, let me remind you about the characteristics of the small intestine that favor or facilitating the process of absorption. As we talked in the class, we have large surface area, we have highly vascularized or rich in blood vessels and lymphatic vessels, and the thin wall. Those are written in your copybook just to remind you about this. So هيدي structures of the intestine. في عنا villi, villus يعني plural villi. Then it's microvilli. وقلنا it's ridges and villi. So it is a high, large surface due to the villus and villi. Now, routes of intestinal absorption. Let me remind you, what are all the nutrients which are accumulated in the intestine? They are the glucose, galactose, fructose يعني كل المونوساكرايدز, amino acids, minerals, vitamins and other nutrients pass to the intestinal cells to blood vessels. يعني نحن أصلنا النوترينت، كل النوترينت with no exceptions بيروحوا على البلد دغري من الانتستينال cells يعني من الانتستين except for fatty acid and glycerol اللي جايين من digestion of fat بيروحوا على lymphatic vessels. So what do I mean by lymphatic vessels? Lymph هو vessels which is a clear vessels. Okay, you remember the pictures you draw it on the copybook. So we drew the lymph. الليمف هو blood, it's a vessels leak out from the blood vessels يعني هو طالع من blood vessels بس هو vessel لحاله بنقول له الليمف. الليمف هو اللي بينقل الفاتي acid والجلايسيرول to the intestine, from the intestine to the cells, to all the body cells, whereas all the nutrients are passed from the intestine directly to the blood vessel. So if I ask you to talk about absorption, you need to say that all the nutrients are absorbed directly into the blood vessels except for the fatty acid and the glycerol. They are absorbed from the intestinal cell to the lymphatic vessels. Okay? أكيد the water is absorbed by both the small and the large intestine. In the end, all nutrients are joined together, the blood circulation, and the blood gonna distribute them to the body and the tissues. So, today's lesson is about absorption. What do I mean by absorption? Absorption, it is the passage of all the nutrients from the intestine to the blood in order to be distributed. So we need to know the characteristics of the blood vessels and the intestine. The intestine has a large surface area as we wrote on our copybook. It has a thinner wall enriched with blood vessels and it is very thin. So هدول characteristics they are written on your copybook. This picture you are not responsible to memorize it, just to let you know that it is highly vascularized, في كتير بقلبه blood vessels, and it has a large surface area. But you need to memorize this. The route of intestinal absorption يعني طريقهم للنوترينت وين بيروحوا؟ all the nutrients and you list them: glucose, galactose, fructose, amino acid, mineral, salt, vitamins and other nutrients. They go into the intestinal cell except fatty acid and glycerol. They go directly into the lymphatic vessels. This is absorption.